Hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. So in this episode, I want to drill down specifically on the geopolitical aspects of Colombia and how they affect you as a tourist. I believe that once I explain this, it's going to hopefully help you be a better tourist. It's going to relieve you of a lot of stress, and it's going to give you an understanding of why some of the people are doing the things they do there. So let's go ahead and go to the graphic, and let me just start to explain some of the geopolitical aspects. So as you can see, Colombia is a way station and a transit corridor for dozens of countries. One, because of the easy visa requirements and the entry requirement. People are coming there from all of the African continent. They're coming there from Haiti as they go on their way through the Darien Gap. Ecuador is currently having problems. We could probably expect another 250,000 people to enter Colombia. What they do is they stop at the big cities, and they stop there for several reasons. One, they don't want to get too much further from home. Or two, it becomes a way station for them to make money while they save enough to where they can continue on through the Darien Gap, go through Panama, transit through Costa Rica, and go through Mexico, and hopefully find a life in the United States. Now, each and every one of those different countries have different titles and protections that allow them into the various Central American countries, Mexico, and the United States. So what you have a setup here for is basically a conglomeration of citizens from a multitude of continents, to include India, Pakistan, Africa, as I've mentioned, even Europe and China. They're all coming through the Darien Gap and transiting through Mexico in the hopes of getting to the United States. Now, along the way, a lot of those people bleed off in each and every country. Many of them bleed off in Colombia. If I were, for example, coming from the country of Venezuela, and I needed to make money to send home, well, I certainly wouldn't want to go all the way to Mexico or the United States. Others, they go on. And so what that creates is that really creates like this hustle and bustle, or this conglomeration of people with all sorts of means, seeking different ends and using different means to get to those ends. You as a tourist, you're going to come and you're going to think, everybody here is Colombian. Everybody here is from Latin America. No. And so as a tourist, you're going to find a lot of people just kind of pulling at your meat and stuff. And what that really lends itself to is a question of, do you want to be an ethical tourist? Do you just want to go on about your business? What you do is your business. I mean, politically, I think people would call me a liberal. They would call me a libertarian. They would call me a stoic, which that's a great combination as long as things are going your way. So what your outlook on life is may decide as to whether or not you want to even go to Colombia. So I want you to be as fully prepared as possible if you want to go. To me, being an ethical tourist is, I go to that country knowing I'm going to support vendors, I'm going to support people selling goods, selling services, and that sort of thing. And that's where, in my opinion, the buskers, the vendors, and other people are coming to play. Because I use a Delta or an American Airlines credit card, I always get 2 bags for free, 2 bags and 2 carry-ons. Well, I'm not going to use all that, so I either get a box or I buy a suitcase from Goodwill, and then I fill it full of shoes and clothes and stuff, and then I just give them to people when I get to that country that I think can use them. Just a little thing to do. Now, I see ethical tourists everywhere. I see people doing good things, being patient with the vendors. Take, for instance, prostitution. We know prostitution is legal in Colombia. In my opinion, because it's a sanctioned industry, those ladies should be treated with the utmost respect. I see people pulling on them, yanking on them, grabbing their asses and stuff. And I'm like, I don't believe that anybody, any woman from Venezuela goes to Colombia and says, you know what? When I was growing up, I always wanted to be a prostitute. I think they're doing it. I can't speak for everybody, but they're doing it because it's a survival mechanism. And in that survival mechanism, it doesn't mean that anybody needs to be degraded. By the same token, if that turns you off and you hate looking at it, then don't go somewhere where you don't like to look at something, because you're going to see it there. You're going to see it in Bogota. You're going to see it in Medellin. You're going to see it in Cartagena especially. Okay, so that is just my 2 cents worth. The buskers. The buskers are going to set up and they're going to perform in front of you whether you want it or not. When they do perform in front of you, it is your choice whether or not you give them any money. Keep in mind, in Colombia, if you're giving them 1,000 pesos, do about 30 cents. So just another thing you may want to take into account. But I hope that this graphic has shown you what dynamics and what pressures are upon the people of Colombia to absorb this huge mass of humanity that is either transiting through their country or using it as a way station. Not all those people are good. Many of them are petty criminals. So, you also have to be careful. So if you're going to go there, just try to have an understanding of the environment in which you enter. Me being a libertarian and a stoic, I say you go where you want to go, you do what you want to do. But don't whine about it. Have a good day.